Alright, hey, this is Mega here. It's a warm day in the middle of June right now. It's about, before I left my house, I checked my phone and it said it was about 86 degrees outside. I feel like it's probably somewhere around the high 80s, mid 90s. Not mid 90s, low 90s, okay? So I picked a warm day to come out here, which is good because we're testing the Heatsink out on the Sur-On Lightbee, okay? So this is my Sur-On Lightbee. Like I mentioned in the last video, I'll give you a little, I kind of told you what we're going to be doing in the last video, but I don't go over it again. So this is my Sur-On Lightbee. I just built a heatsink system for the BAC2000 controller on my Lightbee, and we're going to go test it out today, okay? So the setup on it is I have the Lightspeed 72 volt battery. So today will be the first demonstration of the performance of the BAC2000 with the new Lightspeed battery. That I have. I only had a couple cycles through it. It's at 99% charge right now, 81.8 volts, okay? So that's when we're starting. It's obviously the second run. We're going to be doing 2 runs up Sierra Road today here. And obviously the voltage will be a lot lower when we go up the second time, but that's okay. So the main purpose of today's ride is to test how good the heatsink is. Yeah, to see if that thing can keep the bike cool, you know, if it could help it shed heat faster, you know. It's one of the things I've noticed about the BAC2000, it runs hot all the time, dude. Every time I put my hand on it, in fact, I'm gonna go put my hand on it right now. Yeah, it's warm right now. It's so when I came up here, as slow as possible. I just took the bike lane and I took my sweet time. I would say this is about like maybe about 5 miles from my house. So this is going to be our start point. We're going to come back down here and then we're going to go swap the heatsink out when we come back, okay? But let's take an initial reading before we leave. Okay, so I'm going to laze the let's laze the left heatsink and the right heatsink, and then I'll do the base here, because when we have the heatsink on there, we're not going to be able to do the bases. So, okay, so here we go. All right, the left side heatsink is 106 degrees, pretty warm. Yeah, 106 degrees. Okay, now we're going to do the side of the heatsink. Okay, 105, so that's the naked heatsink right there. Let's do the other side. $100. It's cooler on this side. No. We'll just go with the highest reading. How about that? 104 was the highest. Okay, so the heatsink is at about 105 right now. I'm trying to let it cool down. But I don't think it's going to cool down very fast because it's like 90 degrees right now, man. And it does feel warm, okay? It feels warm to the touch. It doesn't feel so bad that like, hey, I don't want to hold it, you know. It's definitely comfortable to hold. So hopefully we don't run into any of these cars up there. It is a weekday, so there's not too many cars. I'm going to try to charge up there as fast as I can. So I got the heatsink in here. We're going to go for a ride up Sierra Road. And then we will record the temps at the top again. So remember, it was 105. It seems like the average was about 105 before we started. Okay, and then I will watch the video, and then when I'm editing it, I will put all the results on the video on a subtitle. Okay, so I feel that's a good enough time for a rest. Ooh, that's not supposed to be like that. I've been having some problems with this NXT controller setup, so but I kind of got it dialed in the way I wanted it by cheating. I kind of went in the backdoor software and thinged it. Okay, all right, so that's your introduction. Let's do it. All right, here's me go. Okay, here we go. First uphill climb without So you just saw that last video. I had nothing, no heatsink installed on there. It's just a stock heatsink, alright? So here we go. That's wide open throttle. Look at it climb. I can tell you this, I can barely read the NXT display. Holy shit, it's really flying. 41, 43, 44. I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit thermal cutoff when we get to the top. 45 miles an hour going up this hill. Holy moly, it's really flying. 40 miles an hour going up the hill. So this, if you guys don't know, Sierra Road is just, it's a hill climb, man. It doesn't really go down at all. It just stays. All right. Oh, slipping a little bit on the tar snakes. This is where I do all my hill climb toge performance riding, okay? The good thing is today is pretty warm. We'll have some good traction. So we're at 43 miles an hour right now. Woo! It's really flying, man. I have it at full power right now. I have a feeling this thing is going to overheat fast. 36, 37, boy, is it climbing fast though. It's got a lot of power. Alright, I'm gonna regen a little bit here. Actually, we don't even have to regen because we're going uphill, so. It's not an insane amount of power, but when it gets going, man. Oh, little wheelie. I put my weight over the front, so I don't want to do that though. Alright, let's back off here. Beautiful view of San Jose. Wide open a little bit. We're going 38 miles an hour, 40, 41. It seems like it's going about 10 miles an hour faster. Normally this thing would climb at 30, 35. It's definitely got way more power than it did before. It's set at 14,000 watts, by the way. The question is, how long can it handle this? Especially in this warm temp. I can feel the power kind of tapering off now. But it is getting steeper. Oh yeah. Yeah, I lost a lot of power right now. I think it's overheated already. We're at 76 volts climbing. Just chomping away. Definitely feel it's already lost some power. Okay, I don't like to take this one fast because it's kind of dirty and the bike slides around. It definitely feels a lot slower now. I'm going wide open and we're only doing 25 going up this. It makes me, it's tempting me to want to get off the bike and check how hot the heatsink is already. I bet you it's smoking hot already. I'll tell you this, the X controller never overheated up here. That just goes to show, you know, when you're pushing more power, it creates more heat. That's wasted energy. That's no good. It's not efficient. The BAC2000 does not shed heat very well. I can feel it. It feels weaker now. So if you remember, we were doing 40 going uphill before. Now it's really slow. We're going 30 miles an hour now. We're hitting thermal cutback. Alright, so when we do get to the top, we're going to go downhill slowly, okay? We're going to try not to use as much throttle as possible. Okay, so it's about half charge, it's saying, but I'm still wide open on the throttle. Man, it is slowing down a whole lot. It should be way more faster than this, dude. It would. But you remember when we started, we were going 40 miles an hour. It says the NXT is only saying we're going 30 now. We lost like 10 miles an hour due to heat. Okay, now it's going to start and level off. We get the controller will get a little bit of brake on this section. There we go, we're getting a little bit of our speed back, but it's because it leveled off a little bit. Okay, so this is the last section. This is probably one of the steeper sections too. We're wide open, we're going 40 miles an hour. That's all she's got, man. 37, 36 now. We got a clean run going up here though, at least. 32, 31. Yeah, it is really slow, man. I'm wide open right now. We'll check how hot the motor is too. Yeah, it's really slow. It's like it's not even trying anymore. It's like it's in eco mode. Oh, now we're slowed down to 23 miles an hour, 24 miles an hour. We're not even at the top yet. So there you go, man. It's heat. Dissipation performance is not good at all. The Lightspeed battery. Okay, well, it looks like they've closed the Vista Point up here, man, so we can't really hang out here. Oh, maybe they have. Well, I don't think they have. Oh. Hello. Good. Yeah, it's a little electric motorcycle. I'll hang out by the bike rack there. All right. Okay. So now is the test to see how hot this thing got. I'm pretty sure it got really hot because I ran out of power going to the top. Okay. Here's the. Oh, it's so hot I can't touch it, man. It's really bad, dude. Yeah. Yeah, it's so hot I cannot keep my hand on it. It is smoking hot. So we'll get a chance for it to cool down on the way down. We'll try to lay off the regen. Let's see. Okay, I got my laser thermometer out. 145 degrees. That's pretty hot, man. You can cook an egg on that. I don't know, maybe. 144. The side of the heatsink is cooler though. The side of the heatsink is like 120. 130. 130. $130. I want to say 130 on the sides, 144 on the right, and on the left we're getting about 120. Try to get the flat spot there. Yeah, about 120. Yeah, about 120. Okay. We were getting 144 earlier. I think it cooled off already. I can feel the heat coming from it, man. Okay, let me put my hand on the motor. See how hot the motor's getting. We definitely hit thermal cutback, man. The motor has not even broken a sweat, man. I can put my finger on the heatsink on the underneath the motor. The motor's about 107, 110. It's pretty spicy. The back of the heatsink is about 90. Let's get that flat part there. Yeah, it's about 90 degrees-ish. The motor, not too hot. Not too hot at all. Man, it feels great up here. It's windy. The battery, I don't even think it The battery's a little bit warm, but I think that's because it's the sun that's heating it up. Yeah, the battery didn't even break a sweat, man. I'm telling you, this Lightspeed battery is freaking awesome. All right, our voltage is 78.3, so we were at like 98% or something up there, or 96. So it ate about 10% going up. So hopefully, we should have enough to do one more run going up. Okay, let's get this little... So this actually isn't really doing anything. I was hoping that this would kind of act like a heatsink, but it's not. The top of the controller, my mount that I made out of aluminum, it's only like 100. Yeah, it's about 100 degrees. But the controller has cooled off a whole lot now. Yeah, it was, if you remember correctly, the highest we got was 144. It's still hot enough where I don't want to hold it, though. Okay, so we're going to go head back down, and I'm going to take my sweet time going down to save power and to let the controller cool off. And then we'll try to get it, let it cool down when we get down there. All right. So if you guys don't know, it's a shelter-in-place type. It's a pandemic 2020 right now, and like they only allow like a certain amount of people up here. There's only like one person up here, so okay. So I think we're gonna go head back down. So like I said, we're at 86%, 78.3. The battery says we're the NXT display says we're at like 75%. So. I'm coming back up, don't worry. Alright, so we're going to go down. I'm going to go down, but we're going to take our sweet time. So, what was it? What did we say? It was about 90... It was 96 degrees, okay? When we came up, before we came up, it was 96 degrees. The heatsink, okay? Just about, pretty much everywhere. And then when we got to the top, it was 145 degrees. It was so hot, I did not want to keep my hand on it. You would burn yourself. 145 degrees. And I could feel the bike just pulling power as we got to the top. It was not a happy camper. So hopefully this ride down will help cool the battery off. I'm going to lay off the throttle as much as possible, lay off the regen. We'll probably have to give it some regen on the way down to slow down. Right now we're doing 32 right now. But I'm trying to preserve the battery for one more run. Okay, and let the controller cool off. So it's just kind of just freewheeling right now. Just doing 30 miles an hour, just watching the cows here. Okay. Woo! This corner is normally pretty scary when you're going fast from this direction, but we're not going fast at all. So good thing is we didn't have any traffic going up. So as you saw, the first part of the run, it was charging up there, man. I would say about maybe almost half of the mountain we had like full power, dude, and then it just got slower and slower and slower. We were hitting 30 miles an hour going uphill. I don't know how high the gradient is though, but yeah, we were doing 30 miles an hour full twist, and then by the time we get to the top, we're doing 25 miles an hour full twist. So that's that controller trying to protect itself from overheating. It's dialing the power back. So, you know, in my opinion, the BAC2000 is not a good pairing with, let's slow down. It's not a good pairing with the BAC2000. It just, it generates too much heat, you know. They can handle it, you know, but it's just too much heat. It can't cool itself down. So that's why I made that heatsink. So we're gonna see if that heatsink made a difference. So it's clear, you know, it was pretty clear as day, man. When I was narrating, man, it's going slower, it's getting slower, it's getting slower. So that's why we're doing this experiment. We're gonna put the heatsink on and see if it makes a difference going up. So if you remember, like the first half, we were able to achieve speeds of up to 40 miles an hour. I feel that, yeah, I know, I feel that with the Suron. The stock Suron battery is more suited to being used with the Lightspeed battery. Let me just regen this right here. I don't like going faster because it's real slippery. I don't want to have like a low side or something. Poor guy, that dude has to sit there in the sun all day and tell people like, hey, you can. There's like not a lot of people today, so just park anywhere you want. So my regen throttle doesn't work off throttle anymore. I have to remember to give it some throttle when I'm braking. I don't know why. That started happening after I installed the NXT display. Oh boy. I'm giving it full regen right now. I know regen heats up the controller too, man, so we'll check the temps when we get down there too. So we want to get close to like 95 degrees like before we started last time. I think it was, what was it, 120, 125 on the sides, and then 145 at the base, at the front of the heatsink. No bueno, man, so hot. I mean, hey, that's why I chose today, man. It's like a warm day, dude. Its chances of overheating were you know, very likely, and it did. It overheated spectacularly. I'll probably just speed this video up the rest of the way.